I'm going to show you how to make the C motion with a drop string. I'm using a different tip though. The practice board sheet tells you to use a tip number 105 and I don't have one of those, so I used an open star tip to make those C motion scrolls. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take a small round tip, I'm using a number 3, and you're going to make drop strings underneath the C scrolls. And remember, with the drop strings, you want to touch the tip to the surface, lift it up, and then let the icing fall where you want it. And then when where the drop strings join, I'm going to pipe a little loop to kind of help hide where they join together. So to make the C motion, it kind of starts off like a reverse shell. You're going to squeeze and then kind of lift the tip up and over the icing that you just piped, and then follow through with like you're making a cursive C. And then remember, with the drop strings, it's important to touch the tip to the surface so that the icing attaches, and then lift the tip away from the surface and let the icing fall where you want it. I didn't do a fantastic job with the little loops last time, so I'm going to try and make some better loops in between these drop strings this time around. The trick is to just maintain steady pressure and not to get in too much of a hurry so that you can position the icing where you want it to be. Wonderful thing about this practice board is it has a little stand in it so you can prop the practice board up, which is fantastic when doing stuff like this because you get practice with piping the shapes vertically like you would on the side of a cake. This is especially helpful when you're practicing your drop strings because it's more realistically how you would pipe them on the cake, because you would most likely pipe them on the side of the cake, not on the top surface. Okay, I'll just do this one more time. You want to start the C motion similar to how you would pipe a reverse shell, and just remember to gradually release pressure as you follow through with the tail of the C. And then with the drop strings, remember to touch the tip to the surface and then pull the tip away. Continue squeezing with steady pressure until the string is as long as you want it, and then reattach it to the surface by touching the tip back to the surface. And with the little loops, they're basically the same thing, only instead of being a drop string, they're going to be a tiny little loop. This technique does take some practice, so allow yourself some time to get the hang of it without getting frustrated, and you'll have C motion and drop strings.